You wish you could have skin right now? Yeah, well, that wasn't gonna happen, was it? No. There were no videos. I couldn't create any videos yesterday. Yesterday was awful, to say the least. It was awful, awful, awful. No, nobody's fault. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't anybody's fault. I was unable to sleep. I didn't go to bed until 3. Would I have gone to bed earlier if she had gone to bed before? She didn't go to bed till like 12:15, so last night she went to bed at 10, which was better. But I was trying to do other stuff like grocery order that Joe's picking up today. Okay. I still went to bed really late, but at least got some sleep. The night before, I suffer from anxiety, and it can rear its ugly head at any moment, particularly when I start experiencing physical pain. Okay? Physical pain in weird places, like in my top of my buttocks. Makes no sense. Never had pain there ever. Even now I'm shaking. She cannot be trusted worth shit, worth anything. Okay? She cannot be trusted. Okay, but anyway, so yesterday was bad for me. I even tried to sleep in here with all my shit on the bed. I kind of just pushed it to the side, slept on the part of the bed. I wasn't able to. I was not able to sleep. I tried sleeping on the couch, tried sleeping in here. Ultimately, I rented on demand, regretting you, calling who was regretting you, hoping I'd fall asleep watching that, hoping I could at least sleep a couple hours before I would have to get up at 9 to take care of her, to make her breakfast and to whatever. Nope, I wasn't able to fall asleep. I wasn't able to fall asleep. And I still had to get up. So, needless to say, that was torture because I can't even function, and I have to make her breakfast. I have to give her meds. I have to take her to pee, and I have to do all of that on 0 minutes of sleep, not one split second of sleep. Okay. I don't fare well when I don't sleep. Just get some sleep. So once I had her all ready, which takes hours every morning. Hold that thought. It takes hours every morning, okay? Because we're going to flash forward to today when I hadn't even had a sip of water and she was misbehaving big time, acting up, just being a total effing brat, okay? And anyone would agree with me, she's being a brat, right? And that's when I get the most frustrated because you can't make her see reason. She will not see reason. But anyway, so yesterday I put on something really gentle to put me to sleep. It was Charlotte's Web, but wasn't a cartoon. It was nothing I'd ever seen before. It was live versus non-live because the animals could talk, but they weren't real. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It wasn't animated. It wasn't a cartoon. It was something totally different, and it put me to sleep. And every hour I had to waken from a sound sleep to take her to the bathroom. Okay, because remember, we're not having her go on her own anymore. That led to near tragedy. Okay, she is still getting into the wheelchair at night, which I don't like, but she's doing it. She's at least calling me to take her to pee. And as we've already established, that could change in a heartbeat, And there's nothing I could do about it. So, that was yesterday. And what I did was I fasted all day long. I was upset, I was exhausted, I was pissed off to no end, just me being unable to sleep at all, even just a couple hours at all, not 1 second. And then I had to grab an hour all day long in between taking her to pee. Okay. I still watched my shows last night. I missed Will Trent. I did see High Potential. But Will Trent I can watch on demand. It's no big deal. I already started watching part of it. It's having a lot of violence. I close my eyes. You obsession. Hold on. Man on a mission. You become my new obsession. Do I love that? No, but I liked it enough to pay $1.29 to buy it off Amazon and have it. I heard it on The Rookie last night. I don't watch The Rookie. Have I occasionally watched The Rookie? Yes, I have. But it's not I don't watch it, you know, shall we say, I don't watch it religiously. I don't watch it, and I didn't watch it last night. I watched a tiny little bit of it. And it was playing that song in the background. I like that. I think I'll get that if I can. I don't know what it is, where it's from. It said where it's from. It said it was, but it didn't. I didn't know when it was from. It's a brand new song. So, yesterday was bad. I made it through, and I at least fasted. And this morning, I'm still fasting because I'm having a whole bunch of bad for me stuff. Bad for anybody, but you know, particularly bad for me because I don't eat like that all the time. It's only when groceries are coming, but groceries are only coming. I do a huge order that thankfully Joe's picking up. Andy's getting my mom's meds, which hold that thought as well, okay? I'm multitasking. I have to make sure that the drugstore has the correct meds because some weren't out, went in, and then they text me if they don't say the dosage and stuff, to have Joe go as quickly as possible. He doesn't want to spend time doing that, so I make sure they're good ahead of time to avoid problems, okay? But that takes calling, and that takes whatever. I'm trying to multitask, I'm trying to do whatever, and then my mom is screaming and yelling because she wants this, and she wants to eat, and she wants whatever, but you know, I'm doing the best I can. I had other things I had to do this morning. I'm not in bed asleep, I'm up, okay? I'm multitasking, on the phone, doing stuff. Joe, to pick up my mom's meds, needs her full name and date of birth and all that. You know, my mom has no concept of anything but herself, and I'm multitasking. Remember, I'm sorry, not remember. I wrote it in a comment, but I didn't say it in a video. I ran out of her Depends. We have liners. I told her, you know, we were wasting the old top something liners that I got from Amazon. You decided to want those anymore. So they went to waste. So now we're going to use those in regular underwear. I'm sorry. You've been going through them like water, and I didn't mean to run out of them. I'm not going to run out of them now. I had them delivered from Walmart through my Walmart Plus account and through the supermarket. Just in case the supermarket had them out of stock, I wasn't going to risk it. I got them through both. Around the same price, some discrepancy. A supermarket will give you automatic off, like Stop and Shop did in Massachusetts, whereas Walmart doesn't ever do that. They give you what's called Walmart Cash. That you can use on a future order. Anyhow, that was yesterday. Right now my mother's in the living room. She insisted on being there. She threw a tantrum. Again, we'll circle back to that because today's been awful. Today's been hell. Hell. Because my mom's been acting up big time, okay? Remember, I have um, Walmart. I think Walmart sometimes uses its own people and sometimes uses DoorDash. I know they were using DoorDash in Massachusetts. Sometimes I guess they use their own people. There's no way for me to know. The fact is, it's not like a DoorDash from a Chinese restaurant or something, or even when I did my grocery order, my big grocery order, I don't tip, okay? It's considered that if it's just like one item, there's no $35 minimum, and I'm not going to tip, and it's just left outside, okay? I don't have to tip. It's all included. It's just considered, you know, you don't get charged. They call it shipping, but sometimes it's shipped and sometimes it's delivered, and you don't know which is going to be which, and I don't care. Okay, when I do my big grocery order, then I tip. Yes, um, and there's certain things that can't be shipped. That's, but anyway, been having a huge thing where they keep being delivered to my neighbor. Um, there's nothing you can really do about that. Okay, it's not through DoorDash or Walmart, but I got some clarification today because I opened the door. Okay, the guy was about, and I said, "How'd you end up here?" He's like, "I just want to let you know. I saw you know that this keeps happening to you. Well, just so you know, that's where GPS is bringing us to. Your neighbor, yes, but can't you look at the address?" And then he insisted they're not given an address, and I thought that's bizarre. And it turns out it's not true. So you're always getting misinformation. He was really nice. He took the time, and they're all under a time crunch, to knock on my door. Well, in the meantime, my insane mother, okay, again, she's upset with reality. She's upset that she's here and not around her friends. And as I pointed out to you, when we were in Massachusetts, her friends barely stopped by at all. So it was pretty much almost the same thing. You know, not exactly, but it was close to the same thing ever since all this has happened to her. And I did try to get her a caregiver, and I was gonna do adult daycare, but you know, we're still under the home health care. You know, um, she has no concept of anything. She's supposed to stay in her room multitasking me. I haven't even had a sip of water. Haven't taken my meds, my vitamins, supplements that need to be taken on an empty stomach. Okay, um, I'm already on an empty stomach because I've still been water fasting. Today at 1 it'll be 32 hours, and I was 187.4 when I weighed myself a few hours ago this morning. Before eating or drinking and butt ass naked on a highly accurate scale. And it's reflected. I weigh my mom every morning. Okay, so I know the scale's accurate. She suddenly comes out. Remember, I had a bad day yesterday, didn't I? Right? She suddenly comes out and starts screaming and screaming, like, "What are you doing? Stay in your room." "No, I want to see the door. I want to see who's at the door. I want to see." "Mom, listen to me. I'm talking to them about something important, trying to get to the bottom of the mystery of why, and I finally got to the bottom of it." Okay? I got to the bottom of it. GPS, we suspected it, but now I got verification. That's what's been happening, and it will keep happening. Except remember, I put the notes saying this was to check the notes, saying, "Please don't deliver it to my neighbor at this number. Please, this has happened 3 times to me, blah, blah, blah." It would happen again today, except apparently my neighbor, the guy came to my door. He's really nice, and I'm like, he's like, "I want to let you know, GPS brought me over there." I'm like, "How'd you end up here then? Do you have my..." He's like, "No, your neighbor came out and said, don't do it." I'm like, "Yeah, he probably saw me screaming in the yard on Christmas Eve. He has cameras, so, if he watched them, I don't know. But he knows I'm upset. He knows it keeps happening, and I'm upset." And he's like, "Well," and I like, "Don't they give you our address, my address?" And he's like, "No." Well, then I had 3 things coming. I had AAA batteries. I had big thing of Depends for her, because remember, I'm not paying shipping now, so I can do it separate orders. And I had liners coming. And so 3 different people came, and my mom was, "I want to get out there. I want to know what's there." And she's just like, "Mom, please. The only reason I'm answering the door today is to get to the bottom of the mystery why my stuff keeps in," because he knocked on the door. I didn't know who he was. I was like, who the hell is that? It can't be Joe. Joe's coming later. It can't be the physical therapist. He's coming later. Who the hell is at my door? And it was him just saying, I saw your note and I want to let you know GPS is bringing us over there. I'm like, oh, good. The plot thickens because but then it was wrong. It was misinformation. And I asked the two subsequent people who are his coworkers, so you're telling me you do have my address? He's like, oh yeah, the GPS is bringing us here and there, whatever, and not to you, but we can verify your address. I said, your coworker was just nice. He knocked on my door, and yet I still get misinformation. I was about to call and yell at Walmart and say, how do we solve this? This one said you can't solve it. It's through Google, and it's nothing you can do. But we do have your address. I said, I circled back, why did your coworker take the time to knock on my door and let me know that that they will always be going to my neighbors because you're not giving my address? And then I was really upset because it makes no sense why Walmart would not give you my address. And I know DoorDash has the address. This is your company through Walmart that we sometimes do. And he's like, no, I have your address. Look, I'll show you. I said, though, then your nice coworker is wrong. And basically, I have to plan on, if they don't read the notes, if they don't whatever, it'll probably still keep happening. And I'll keep complaining. And it won't happen sometimes, and it will happen other times. It just depends on who's doing their job and who's not. But I thought, oh, the plot thickens. He's like, no, we click and we don't have any address. He's like, no, you have to look somewhere else. I said, okay, unfucking believable. I have to deal with all this shit. Even getting different discrepancy between two different people who work for the same goddamn company. And in the end, I would have been yelling on the phone for nothing because it turns out that they do have my address and he was wrong. And unfortunately, I can never let him know, hey, you are wrong. 2 more drivers confirmed. But had I not got those 2 more drivers, I would have been going around thinking things that weren't true. I'm dealing with all of this shit, trying to get to the bottom of this. I'm dealing with everything. I help her get ready. She has no concept of anything. I have to try to keep her safe from herself at all times. She's wearing a too tight a shirt. And I said, Mom, I know you want to put lotion all over your body. Can you please take off the shirt while you're sitting on the toilet? No, I'm going to wash my face and then take off the shirt. I said, no, you're not. And we got into an argument. I don't want you standing up and trying to balance with the walker and trying to take off this shirt. Well, it turned out I was right because she sits on the toilet, can't even get the shirt off. And I had to help her. I'm like, guess what? You're not wearing this shirt again. I took it away. If you can't I've seen you get everything else off. If it's so tight you can't get it off yourself, off of your own body, you're not wearing it ever again. You don't need to. Only reason I'm able to say any of this, my bed's covered with shit, my floor's covered with shit, is because she wanted to watch Love and Monsters, and Love and Monsters is not music, and it doesn't even have music in it. And I bought it, so it's not even going to have commercials. And that doesn't mean I can trust her with shit. I was telling her, I want to see the judges. I want to show them. They don't want to talk to you, and they don't want to see your photo album, Mom. Neither does the physical therapist. I have to take it away from her because I needed to take her to the bathroom, and I don't want to go to the bathroom. I'm not ready, Mom. We already decided you're going to go before you have to go, so that we don't have the urgency of you screaming at the top of your lungs for me, and then all upset that I don't get there in time. You go when you tell you to do. We're going every hour. That way we can make sure it's not urgent. All of this went on when I barely even had a sip of water. Unfucking believable. I put her in the living room. Like, you stay in this living room and you don't go near over to the window where all the wires are from the wall TV. I want a TV on my wall. You're not having a TV on your wall. You have our really good TV on the glass thing that we had in the living room in Massachusetts. You don't need... I want that TV on the wall. It can't go on the wall. There's only certain TVs that can go on the wall. Even right now, can I trust that she's sitting there in front of loving monsters? No. Can't trust her with shit. Okay? She was pissed off to no end that she couldn't meet all the people coming to our house. Sing for them or show them their photo album or any. They need to meet me. No, they don't need. Yes, they do. They need to meet me. No, they don't, and they don't want to. They're doing their job. It's just like when the people come to work with you for a measly half an hour that goes by like that. They're not here to hear you sing or to see your photo album or whatever. Unfucking believable. Remember, with everything that I do say, there's so much that I can't say or don't say or choose not to say. Okay? It's just, oh no, it's just, that's why I go ran to bed. Regretting You was good. Apparently it's a best-selling novel. They made it to a movie. And the woman who wrote the book was involved with the movie, so it stayed true to her. It was good. It was well acted. It was good. I was like, who is that daughter? Who is she? And then I realized, oh, that's the one that was the blonde girl in Young Sheldon. That's her all grown up. McKenna Grace. That's who it is. I couldn't think of it. Like, I know her. Who is that? Yeah, you know her from when she was young. When you're watching Young Sheldon, when she was young, she was the fellow genius, but a girl that Sheldon was none too happy with. And so crisis averted, even if the supermarket, I couldn't risk it, because when do I find out the supermarket, that happened before. Thankfully, I wasn't out of them completely. I've only let that happen one time before. And needless to say, I was in a panic, because it is a panic. She has to have them, and it's my responsibility to not let them run out. And at that time, this time I would never ask Joe, are you kidding me? I'm lucky he's going to get the groceries, so even if he wasn't getting the groceries today, I would have, but now I have Walmart. I'm going to keep that, because it's good in a pinch. It's good in a fucking pinch to have that Walmart thing. Joe came through for me that time, and I was crying. I was saying, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I messed up, Joe. She's completely out of them. She has to have them. He understood. He made a special trip just to get them at the grocery store. I did them online. I did a very small order. You have to have an order minimum anyway, so I did a very small order, a tiny bit above the order minimum. And he's like, no, I understand these things happen. I understand it's an emergency. He totally agreed it was an emergency. He knows that it is. So now I'm really stocked up, and I'm going to mark the day we start them. See how fast we actually go through them. Because I haven't kept track, and I felt like they would last. I knew Joe was going to do the grocery order. Otherwise, I would have ordered them, and I would have never run out of them. I would have got them delivered the next day by Walmart. But I didn't, and I'm like, oh my God, I thought we had another package. Mom, we're going to have to wing it. You're going to have to use regular underwear, and we're going to have to use pads, but I'm not going to use the always discreet. Let's just use use up those top liner ones that you never want to use again, but in a pinch they came through instead of being wasted. And again, this is my fucking life. I put her in the living room. I'm like, Mom, he's coming. I need to get dressed. I'm in my pajamas. I went out and was talking to DoorDash people in my pajamas, but they don't look like pajamas. I'm not wearing any underwear under them, but you can't tell. And I wasn't wearing a coat. It was freezing. That's how it always is. And she has no concept of everything that I'm trying to do to run this household. Remember, my place has to be spotless. Joe's coming. Joe's going to be coming. I said, Joe, can you please get the groceries? They don't care when you come if you're late or whatever. They don't care. Can you please not get them till this time? I know you said early afternoon, but I don't want you coming at the same time as the physical therapist, and he's coming at this time. Can you please do that for me? On top of that, what I'm not telling him is I want my place spotless out there, because remember, he got upset about the sink last time. Sink's clean, right, by the way. I want to make sure the place is absolutely spotless, not my room. My room looks like Hurricane Head. My mom's room is always spotless, though. I make sure I clean it every night before she goes to bed. I sweep it, and I have to have it clean when any of these people are coming, because they take her with the walker to go in there, you know. And hers will be hurricane hit, too. But fortunately, nobody comes in here. And the spare rooms, so those are the two rooms that are hurricane hit, because again, I'm trying to do everything as you can see. At some point, I will dance on the bed to that new song, Man on a Mission. I like it. And I was able to buy it, so I bought it. Once in a while, there's been songs I've wanted and I couldn't get them off Amazon or Shaw, and that's the only place I will get them. So I'm not setting up one. I'm not going to set up any kind of other account where you get music. I'm not doing it. I don't want to. I went to go do it at one point, and it was ridiculously complicated. It wanted this, that, or whatever. I'm like, fuck that. I won't get this song, and I'll stick with only songs that I can buy off of Amazon. She was in rare form. She was throwing a tantrum. And she wouldn't listen to reason. She's like, I want to see who's there. I want to see who's there. Mom, they're gone. No, they're not. I saw the car. And then it happened to be the same kind of, is that Joe? Is that Joe? I want to see Joe. Joe's going to not be here very long, Mom. He's going to change our water. He's going to bring in the groceries, and that's going to be it. And you know, believe me, I'm lucky. We're lucky he's doing this. Only because I didn't X him out of my life completely. I'm not looking a gift horse in the mouth when I'm trapped here in the boonies and I can't even get my groceries delivered like I could in Massachusetts, and other things that I can't tell you because it'll reveal my location, and you know. Of course, Joe with his doomsday. Well, you're rarely better off there than you are yeah. It's a matter of opinion, Joe. Matter of opinion. Because again, you're not inside my mind, and you don't know what all of this does to me when I feel just you know, trapped and isolated. Never mind my mom. Her New Year's resolution, I want people to come visit me. They're not going to visit you 1,000 miles away from, you know, thousands of miles away from where they live. Why not? Why not? Why can't they? You know. Besides the fact, your New Year's resolution doesn't involve someone else. It involves just you. I understand you're lonely. I understand all of that, Mom. Join the fucking club. We're lucky that we're